What's going on, everyone? So it is being reported that the Lakers may position themselves to draft Bronny James. So the Athletic Joe Varden reported that there's a belief the Lakers will figure out a way to draft Bronny James and keep the family in purple and gold. If he declines a $51 million player option, James could be a free agent next summer. The serious health issue that befell his son Bronny over the summer and potentially delayed his entrance into the NBA draft could be a signal, biggest factor affecting James's free agency. He would want to be able to play on the same team as his son if it's possible. But even if Bronny is in the draft, he intends to play at some point this season as a freshman for USC. Most observers believe the Lakers will find a way to make sure that happens in Los Angeles. So, obviously, it's no secret. Worst kept secret in the league is that LeBron wants to play with his son. Now, a lot of people think as soon as Bronny gets drafted, he's going to leave. I don't necessarily believe that, right? Like, if the Lakers are good, like, let's say he goes to, I don't know, let's say he goes to, like, Detroit or whatever, right? And he lands there, and Detroit's like, good, now we get LeBron James. If the Lakers are a contender, or let's say the Lakers win the NBA championship this year, LeBron's not leaving to go play with his son when he could potentially get number 6, right? Or if they haven't won but they're close, he's not going to leave to go get number 5. He's not going to leave a contender, leave LA, leave everything to go play with his son for a year or two and just be a terrible tanking team. Like, that's not what he's going to do. Now, when he's getting ready to hang it up and he's getting ready to put the sneakers up and call it a career, that's when I see him going and playing with Bronny, right? That's when I believe that, he'll say, okay, I got like 1 year left in me. Let me go play this year with my son and then call it a career. That's how I think that this goes. But there is always the likelihood, right? I mean, again, it's all just speculation. LeBron could be a free agent after this year. He has the ability to opt out of his contract. Again, I think that depends on where the Lakers are at. If the Lakers are, obviously, again, if the Lakers win the NBA championship, I think he sticks around. I wouldn't even be surprised if he takes a pay cut. I know 8 years ago, he said he'd never take another pay cut. Times change, things change. If he has an opportunity to get his 6th NBA championship, he'll take a pay cut. I'm not saying he's going to play for the vet minimum or anything like that, but if he needs to take a $15-20 million haircut in order to keep like a Christian Wood who was huge in the season and helped win the NBA, like, he'll do that, right? Because he wants to win. He's about building and continuing his legacy at this point. He has nothing left to prove. The guy's already done everything there is to do except for win more championships. So if he can, he'll win more championships. But the Lakers are not as good as we believe that they will be, or they struggle, or let's say they're a first round exit and they kind of get smacked, then I do think that there is that possibility of, like, does he go and look for another contender to try to go win an NBA championship? But as far as the Bronny aspect of this, obviously if the Lakers can land Bronny, then you don't have to worry about it. Then now LeBron's got the best of both worlds, right? And when you talk about Bronny, he's not going to be a top 5, probably not even a top 10 pick. I mean, a lot of experts have him in like the 2nd round, right? The thing is, though, some of these teams that have, like, especially if LeBron continues to play at a high level, which I fully expect him to, right? I still expect him to be, a 25, 8-8 guy this year. I mean, he was nearly 38-8 last year. I don't think he's just going to completely fall off a cliff. And even in preseason, he looked like old LeBron James. So if, say, this year, LeBron is fantastic, right? You're going to have one of these, like, better teams that have a draft pick, right? Like, let's say a team like Atlanta, right? Who are like, if we get LeBron James, we may be able to make some noise, right? LeBron at a high level with Trae Young and everybody, like, we might be able to make some noise, right? Again, just using them as an example. I don't know what their salary space is off the top of my head, but the point is that some team will likely take a flyer on Bronny because they have a late pick that's a lottery random pick anyway, right? I don't see anybody in the top 10 or anything like that taking a chance on Bronny if he's, not good enough, right? They're not gonna go, okay, well, great, we can draft Bronny and waste, a pick that could potentially be a franchise cornerstone for the next 20 years for, a year or two of LeBron. Right? I just don't see that happening. But I do see a team that maybe has like the 25th pick, going like, hey, we could get LeBron James. Like, wait a minute, right? LeBron could come to us, like, right? Like, and take a flyer. So that is something to kind of keep an eye out and watch. So depending on what the Lakers do, and it also depends on the Pelicans, right? So there are a couple things. One, because of the incident, which I don't want to get into, I don't really want to talk about. He's a kid. He deserves his privacy. And there's just enough people that have talked about it to death and, exploited it enough. But the reason I even mentioned the incident is because it very likely will impact him potentially getting drafted, as well as him actually going into the draft, right? Does this cause him to give it a year and wait, go through the motions of USC, and then decide, okay, well, now I'll jump into the NBA? Which, if that's the case, then I do expect LeBron to opt in, right? So it's going to come down to, like, what does Bronny want? What is best for him? What is best for, his career? Also, like, what is the gauge, right? Like, does he, because, you always hear the murmurs going around, right? Like, this guy had a really good showing this year, right? He should declare for the draft. He has potential to be a first round pick, blah, blah, blah. Like, if the conversation, like, let's say he goes to USC and he underwhelms a bit, then I could fully see, like, that talk maybe making him second guess going in, because it's like, do I really want to be a second round or maybe even undrafted? Or does he kind of lean on, like, hey, my dad has the pool. Like, somebody's going to draft me in the first round because of my dad, right? But is that something that he wants to do? Because then, it's like, you want to pave your own legacy, right? Now, we all need help. We all need that push to kind of help us get to a good position, right? And maybe that's how he looks at it. But regardless, I mean, time will tell. But what this means for the Lakers is if the Lakers are actually going to bring Bronny on, then they either need to hope that the Lakers end up landing a, like, mid to late draft pick. But what if the Lakers have, like, the 13th pick or something like that, right? I mean, I'm not saying that they will. I hope that they don't. But, like, let's say they have, like, a medium pick, right? Do they really waste it on Bronny just to appease LeBron? I mean, they could. But, like, is that what's best for the organization? All right. Now, if they have, like, a late pick, like, let's say they have, like, the 23rd pick or something like that, then yeah, sure, go ahead. Take Bronny. Unless there's somebody there that you are just that in love with, that you think is going to be that good, then go take him, right? Do the Lakers end up trading up, right? Do the Lakers go and try to make a play, go try to make a push, maybe give their 18th pick in a couple seconds or something like that to go and move up to go take Bronny? I think it's just going to come down to how good Bronny is in college, right? Because, I mean, the consensus has been he needs to spend a good, like, 2, maybe 3 years in college, really learning the game, really developing, right? Like, the youngest son, Bryce, is the one that many believe, like, is, as soon as he turns 18 could play in the NBA, where Bronny, he needs to still develop a lot, right? And look, this kid gets a lot of slack. This kid gets a lot of just negativity about his game. One, he's never going to be LeBron James. I mean, LeBron James is literally, if not the greatest player ever. You can't be compared to that. I mean, look at Jordan's kids. Jordan's kids are too busy with the Pippins, right? Like, so it's just, I don't see Bronny or even Bryce living up anywhere close to their father, right? So, and that shouldn't be like a parameter, right? But, like, Bronny isn't that bad. Like, people act like Bronny's just like this scrub, like this bum. The dude is a baller. Like, the dude can do everything, right? Like, he's not the human highlight. Like, Bryce just looks like he's a superstar in the making. But Bronny looks like a very good NBA player. Right? He looks like a guy that could easily play in the NBA. He doesn't look like he's going to be a star or anything like that, but he looks good enough to where he could be a at least bare minimum rotation piece. Right? And he has all the money, the resources, his father, all to continue to help him grow, develop, and be the best player he can be. And even when LeBron leaves, he's still going to be coaching his son and working with his son and helping his son be the best guy he can be. Right? Like, it's just how it works. Right? And so, would the Lakers do something like that? Absolutely. Would the Lakers do whatever it takes to keep LeBron happy? Absolutely. Like, that's what the Lakers do. I don't want them necessarily to burn a pick just to burn a pick. Right? If it's a late pick or, borderline second or something like that, sure. I don't mind. But, like, even a trade up, even if you had to give up a couple seconds to get him, like, I get that it's just a couple seconds or a second, but the Lakers have been absolute money when it comes to picking second round draft picks and stuff. So, I don't know. I mean, time will tell again. Like, we're still a year away from him even being eligible. And then even then, I think it's going to dictate to, one, how does his health hold up, as well as how does his, how does his game translate, right? If he's just lighting it up in college and looking like he's NBA ready, then I definitely think a team's going to take a flyer on him. But again, if he's struggling, right, like, we just have this assumption that he's going to join the league just because of his dad, but he may want to actually prove to himself, right? And if people don't think he's ready, he might just say, you know what, like, let me spend another year or so in NCAA and kind of go from there. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I pass the question on you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? Do you think the Lakers will position themselves to draft Bronny? Do you think, like, no? Like, if he's there and he's an actual option that you like, then sure. If not, don't just draft him just to draft him. No, I have a feel whatever your thoughts are. I'd love to hear it. Let me know down in the comments below. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me out a lot. Lets me know you enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. If you're not subscribed to the channel, what are you doing? Hit that subscribe button, followed by the bell notification. Stay up to date with everything. See you all in the next one.